Ever had one of those days where you just stop and wonder, what's the point of all this? Maybe you're stuck in a job you don't like. Maybe life feels repetitive. Or maybe you're just scrolling through this video because everything feels kind of meaningless. Well, you're not alone. Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist, Holocaust survivor, and the author of Man's Search for Meaning, asked the same question, but under conditions most of us couldn't even imagine. This book isn't just about survival. It's about finding meaning in suffering, taking control of your mindset, and ultimately, why having a purpose can keep you alive. And guess what? That same idea can change your life today. Sounds intense? Don't worry, we're breaking it down whiteboard animation style, so it's engaging, thought-provoking, and maybe even a little fun. Let's dive in. Viktor Frankl was born in 1905 in Austria. By the time he was a teenager, he was already obsessed with psychology and philosophy. Basically, he was that one friend who always wanted to talk about deep stuff at parties. He studied medicine, specializing in psychiatry and neurology. But then, World War II happened. In 1942, Frankl and his family were sent to Auschwitz and other concentration camps. His parents, brother, and wife were all killed. He lost everything, except for one thing, his ability to find meaning. And this is where his story, and his life-changing philosophy, really begins. Man's search for meaning is based on a simple but powerful idea. Frankl believed that suffering itself is not the problem. The real problem is having no reason to endure it. While in the concentration camps, he noticed something fascinating. Some prisoners gave up completely, while others found ways to keep going. The difference? Meaning? Those who had a reason to survive, whether it was reuniting with family, finishing their life's work, or simply refusing to let the Nazis win, had a much better chance of making it through. After the war, Frankl developed logotherapy, which is basically therapy focused on finding meaning instead of chasing happiness. Why? Because according to Frankl, if you only chase happiness, you'll never find it. Instead, happiness is a byproduct of having a clear purpose. There are three main ways to find meaning: through work, doing something that gives your life purpose; through love, connecting deeply with others; through suffering, turning pain into growth. Even in terrible situations, if you can find meaning, you can endure almost anything. Now, let's take a closer look at what Frankl discovered in the darkest moments of human experience. In Man's Search for Meaning, Frankl reveals that even when everything is stripped away, when you're in a place where survival feels impossible, you still have the power to choose your attitude. He observed that no matter how harsh the conditions, inner freedom remains. This tiny spark of choice is something no one can take away from you, even in a concentration camp. One of Frankl's most compelling ideas is tragic optimism. Even in tragedy, we can find reasons to keep going, to hope, and to strive for meaning. Frankl argued that by facing life's inevitable suffering and loss head-on, and by finding meaning in them, we transform our pain into a powerful force for personal growth. In essence, Frankl teaches us that every moment, even the most painful ones, carries a choice that, when embraced, can turn the darkest hour into a turning point in our lives. This idea is at the heart of logotherapy, reminding us that while we can't control every circumstance, we can always control our response. Fast forward to today. Most of us aren't surviving a concentration camp, but we still struggle with a lack of meaning. Depression and anxiety are on the rise, not because people are suffering more, but because many people don't know why they're suffering at all. That's why Frankl's message is more relevant than ever. He reminds us that happiness is not the goal, meaning is. You don't have to avoid suffering, just give it purpose. You are stronger than you think. The 3 ways to find meaning in this modern world. Find a purpose bigger than yourself. What's something outside of yourself that makes life meaningful? A passion, a cause, helping others. Face struggles with a new perspective. Life is going to throw curveballs. How do you respond? Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what can I learn from this? Take responsibility for your life. Even when life feels unfair, you control your response. Instead of waiting for meaning to come to you, create it. Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. And if you love philosophy, psychology, and life-changing ideas, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Until next time, stay curious.